Do estate agents market themselves too much on their brand and not enough on the people in the office? Talk to me.
Very, very good question, Chris. And I do believe that actually it's the people who sell to people. It's the human to human interaction, which is much better than what we refer to as business to consumer, business to business.
Because if you go to Australia and America, it's almost you're inviting the person who just happens to work for XYZ firm, whilst in Britain you ask XYZ firm.
So yes, absolutely. In America, you hire the agent, the person, not the agency per se. I suppose from a business model point of view, this is harder to grow because if the person has the clientele and that person moves to another agency, the chances are that business is going to lose a lot of their clients.
Of course they are, but that's why bosses have got to look after their people.
Right, yes, that's correct. From a consumer point of view, I would absolutely say so. If I have a personal relationship with my local agent, then I'm more likely to give them my business than as an agency.
Why do you think British agents almost hide behind their brand? Why?
I think that it's been really easy to sell properties up until maybe 2-3 years ago. And I think that they didn't need to build that kind of relationship with their prospecting clients. Well, as times have changed, and now I think we will see that the agents who actually put a bit more effort to build those personal relationships are the ones that are able to charge the 2% commission and have clients for life, essentially. Because it isn't about how much you charge, it's about the service that you provide and the relationship that you're building with people. So I think that that's where things are going.
A thing that a lot of agents are talking about is the self-employed or the hub or the associate or the broker model, where someone sets up an office and you are self-employed. Do you think if we're going down that route as an industry that we have to almost sell ourselves a bit more personally, the agents and the valuers out there?
I think, yes, you're absolutely right, but there is a whole team behind providing a service, and I think that on one hand you have the sales negotiators who are the face of an estate agency business, but there is this other team behind them who are actually the ones that are moving everything, the sort of administrators. And I think that from a consumer's point of view, it's great to have that relationship with the person at the front, but also knowing that there is that team behind gives that extra confidence.
Surely that's the job of the person at the front to say, I've got this team behind me.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's not very British that people want to put their name up there, almost tall poppy syndrome. Otherwise they get, it's not very British, is it?
No.
How do they get over that fear?
That's I'm not sure whether that's going to be an easy one, because I think if we look at America and what's happening there, generally Americans are okay to be in front of camera. They like to be the loud ones and to be a bit more in your face. I think Britain, as well as Europe, I would say it's a European thing as well, a little bit more reserved. We don't like to be seen like selling at someone. Selling is not a really good word to use even. And I think, but there is a fine line between selling and between providing a service to help someone with something.
It's interesting. People don't like to be sold to. I agree with you on that. One of the things that the test I always say to agencies is, if you're going to produce some video or put your name up there, would they miss whatever you do if you stop doing it?
Yes.
And I think the question I always ask, the first question is, who's your audience, which is what you said. But the second one, which is as important, is, are you doing this to get something? Is it self-serving?
Yeah.
Or are you doing it to give?
Yes. If you start from the giving, then everything else will flow. There was one agent who shared with me a few days ago the fact that to help investors, he would go and find properties that are very, very good properties to buy, either below market value. And even if they're not on the market under his agency, he would go and film that outside the agency that is representing this property.
my idea.
It's your idea. Fantastic idea. I think it's a brilliant idea, especially if you're going after investors.
We've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years.
Wow, here you go. I mean, brilliant
It
idea.
so works.
Yes,
It
I
really
would.
screws up agents' heads that you've got to stand outside a competitor's house.
Absolutely, but this is where the value comes in, because me as an investor, because you've given me that information, I respect you even more. Not because it's with someone else, it's because you are the one that
Yes.
gave me that information. So I think this is where a estate agent should be focusing on, is how can I provide value to the people I want to work with.
And people buy from people.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.